If there's anything that we have learned since the first time we accompanied a character into Bright Falls, it is that the attempt to make art around Cauldron Lake is inadvisable. It almost never turns out well, as one subject would find out. At some point in the recent past, there was a documentary being filmed in the woods outside of the lake. Given the fact that Sheriff Sarah Breaker was involved in the investigation, we can presume it is set in the early 90s to late 2000s. According to Clay, it is the most recent weird story before Alan arrived in town. The story is remembered by the locals as an oddity, sometimes called the curious case of Mr. August. You see, Clark August III was an entrepreneur in the music industry. In order to expand his brand, he decided to film a pseudo-survivalist show with himself as the star. The film followed his adventure in the woods outside of town. Dressed in his business suit instead of hiking garb, it was kind of a humorous sight. That is, until the winter hit and the true dangers began to emerge. Miraculously, he survived in perfect health and condition. However, there was a twist. Shortly after, Mr. August vanished off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. According to Sheriff Breaker, there was no evidence. Quote, "It is not like any missing persons case I've ever seen. If he froze, if he got killed by a wild animal, if he drowned, there would be physical evidence. There's nothing." End quote. As is usually the case in these kind of scenarios, the local residents began to talk, telling stories about what could have happened to the missing man. Once the stories began, the faucet was left open to flow into the lake. Figuratively speaking, of course. It did not all come from nowhere, though. Earlier on in the season, there was a noontime eclipse, unexplained howling sounds coming from the woods, even a series of small tornadoes erupting all over the place. Things that would make good TV. The production value was insane. Some made the claim that he was abducted by aliens, likely fueled by the UFO sightings which continued on to the time Alan arrived. Others claim he made a bargain with some force in order to survive the winter. The collateral for that bargain was due by the time spring came. No answer to this little mystery was ever found, but there is one angle to all of this that seems a bit off. The man behind the camera of the documentary film, which was called This August Year. He was a German filmmaker by the name of Klaus Sankt. If that name sounds odd, it may be because the surname Sankt simply means saint. Saint Klaus. Saint Claus. With a documentary following the survival of a man through winter being filmed by someone named after the saint of the winter solstice, it raises several questions. Even more so when we look at Klaus's response. Instead of providing the information he had about Mr. August's last time on Earth, he simply commented on how the mystery made the art of his documentary that much better. Quote, "It's such an unexpected twist. You think you're at the end of a strange story, and then it has this incredible denouement that throws everybody. We don't even have answers to the main part of the story, which is what happened that winter, and now we may never know what followed. It's difficult to get an explanation from someone who has vanished off the face of the earth." End quote. The man seems far more interested in promoting the mystery of his film than the well-being of his subject. While this may be from the detached viewpoint of an artist who cares less about people and more about his art, there is another possibility. That Sankt decided to cause the mystery in the first place, manipulating events so that he could later catch it on camera. Would it be so out of the question for an artist to be driven to the point of falsifying his work, creating a fiction, then dropping his subject in the middle of it, pretending it is a documentary record of organic events? Mr. August going missing could have been achieved by Sankt's hands. Of course, this does not explain the eclipse, the mysterious growls, or the tornadoes, unless those were also his doing. A means of creating a bigger mystery around his film, setting things up to make it seem like supernatural things were happening. We have witnessed before a work of fiction create tornadoes, a work of fiction change night to day. Is it so out of the question that this filmmaker could cause an eclipse given the power of Cauldron Lake? Whether a deal was struck with a dark entity to survive the winter, a twisted filmmaker set up events to capture it on tape, or some combination of both occurred, all that we know for sure is I doubt we will ever get to the bottom about what truly happened. It really is the curious case of Mr. August. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe to receive updates on future uploads. If you would like to help support the channel, a Patreon has been set up and the link is in the description below. Have a great day and peace be with you all.